Hello there, my name is Don and this is another video showing you how I go about making my 1/35 scale diorama pieces. This video covers how I make my stone walls, so you can see if I hold that up close, that's my version of my stone wall, or you could have it in block form like this. Okay, looks quite realistic. This is a church door that I made as a test piece, and you can see the slabs of stone that will go to make up the church. Okay, so I will tell you how I go about making my stone. So these are the bricks that I made on an earlier video you may or may not have seen. I use tile grout, and on a broken piece of ceramic tile I've glued some strips of 2-inch cardboard all the way around and marked out the sides and the width, and they are the size and width of the bricks. So that will be the length and that the width. So as the grout dries, then I go along and cut through the grout on those marks there, and then this way across there, and that will give me the size of the bricks that I need. But I can also make stone slabs with a grey colour grout. We can make slabs like this, which we can make stone walls with. So I will show you how I make my grout. So there's it's just a powdered form in there, and just add a little bit of water and stir that. It seems as though nothing happens. That's because nothing happens. But keep stirring, and it will eventually mix in. Please believe me. Is it gonna go? Is it? Oh, come on. Very temperamental stuff, this. Things are happening. Okay, so now that's mixing in nicely. If anything, that's a little bit too runny, so I'll add a little bit more powder. No, that's more like it. So that's basically the consistency that you want. Not easy to say. Pretty much like soft butter. There we go. Now that goes on my slab. Like so. And we can just spread that out. It's very sticky at this stage, but give it 10-15 minutes and the stickiness goes away, and you can handle it better. But the idea is to get it to a uniform thickness. So that's somewhere near right. Not messy in any way. Then when you've got it almost to the right depth, then just tamp it across like that, and that will give you your 2mm thickness. So when all the tiles are cut, they will be quite uniform. There we go. And what I've forgotten to bring, just to get the effect on the front of the brick there, is just to tamp it with the back of a washing up sponge. You know, the yeah, you know, the back of the washing up sponge. So just to give it a rough surface, so that when you come to cut them, they've all got the right shape of a stone block. So we leave that for maybe 20 minutes, and once you've cleaned your ruler up, then you can go across and cut through the grout to the right size. So I've made it 11 11 mil this way, for a reason I will show you in a moment. And then for this way, instead of the every 4 or 5 millimeters for the bricks, and I cut every 4th section, so it makes the stone size rather than the brick size, so it will make that size. Okay, so I'll leave that just to go off a little. It would have been handy if I'd brought a cloth, wouldn't it? Anyway, so for the rest of the wall, I've made this wall an 1.5 inch tall, which is about I've got it on paper here, which is about 1.3 meters, or just over 4 foot tall. So that's about neck height on 1/35 scale. So I think 1.5 inches, or whatever that is, 10 cent, no, 1 cent, I don't know. 1.5 inches tall. I don't know what the metric equivalent is. And then obviously whatever length of wall that you want. So we need 1.5 inches this side, 1.5 inches that side, and then 1/2 inch either side for it to sit on upright like that. So you need a piece of 3mm card, 4 inches wide, center line cut down there, and score almost all the way through the 3mm card, so that will bend quite nicely. And then turn over and measure 1.5 inches, or however high you want the wall to be, and then another score there, so that when you close it all up, it will sit like so. If you want to cut the edges of the wall to look as though it's either bombed or just fallen down, mark out what shape you want at the end there, and cut that out. Very carefully. One more, and again. So cut that shape out, and then fold over, and then copy that shape for the other side, and then cut that one out. You might as well do it like that. It doesn't have to be so accurate, because it's going to be a rough surface anyway. So that'll be the end of the wall if it happens to have fallen down or been bombed for any reason. So then glue the inside there and glue the bottom, put it together and put it on a piece of 1mm card, like so. So that will, when that's all glued up, that will sit so like that. So I will do that and glue all that up, and also cut up the grout to make the tiles, and when all that's dry I will come back and we'll finish this off. So here we are. We've poured our grout onto our jig, and after half an hour I marked out the stone slabs. You can see where I've marked them out, and this is a day later now, so everything is completely dry. I'll just let you into a little secret. When I was making my house bricks and eased off all the house bricks, when they were dry, they came off very easily because grout doesn't stick to the surface of ceramic tile. But when I first made the slabs, because they're slightly bigger, then they stuck just a little too much, so a lot of them broke. So what I did was pour a little butter, as you would when you're cooking. You would put a bit of butter on a baking tray so that your cake didn't stick. So that's what I did with this. I poured spread some butter over the ceramic tile so that it doesn't stick. So what you do then is just go like so. Doesn't stick, no breakages, and you've got a pile of stone slabs that you can do with what you will. 1,000,001 uses. Like I showed you, you can do the corner pieces of buildings or around arches and doorways. It's very useful things to have. So I'll put those in my stone slab box. There we are. Now the wall that we made, it's all dried now and quite solid. I put a coat of filler, thin filler, just to make the adhesion a little better when we stick the tiles on, and then put a rough coating on the bottom to represent a hedgeway, what do you call it, that kind of thing, where I put a bit of grass, and you could put gravel, just to do with what you will. On the side there's some loose stones lying around. So that's what we do. Now obviously with this, let's just put a bit of glue on there, then I can concentrate better. So just ordinary PVA glue, we can stick the slabs all the way along, if they were the right way up, like so. It's pretty self-explanatory how they would go, sort of look like that. Just ordinary blocks of stone. The reason that I made them 10 millimeters wide was the two thicknesses of card, 3 millimeter each, that's 6 millimeters, plus the 2 millimeters of stone this side and 2 that side, that makes up the 10 millimeters. So when you put the coping stone on top, it's the exact right size then, as long as you don't drop it. So again, once you're finished, you would put the coping stone, if you wanted coping stones, on the top, and that would be flush both sides. It just makes for an easier job. Now then, if you wanted that effect, the broken stone effect, just to add, I didn't put these on one at a time. That would take forever. So this is what you do. I'll put it, where do I go? Oh, here. I'll just take those off. Put a bit more glue on there. And put these on at random. That means any old how. Like so. And then under a hard area, a hard surface, just put those on there, and with a hammer just give them a slight tap, and then you can move the stones at will and make that effect. Don't need to move them too much. If you didn't want much of a gap in between the stones, you could so it would be like a dry stone wall. That would be fine, although a 4-foot tall dry stone wall is stretching it a bit. But if you open the gap between the bricks, the stones rather, a little more, then you could put the grout in between and use that as like a mortar between the stones. But I rather like that finish. I don't think it would enhance the look with mortar between the stones. I think it looks better like that. So that's what you do. I'll do it again because I love doing it. So a bit more PVA glue. Two or three stone slabs, and just the very gentlest of taps, and you can move the stones around willy-nilly to whatever shape you like, thus making a stone wall. And the reason it looks like a stone wall is because it is a stone wall. They are pieces of stone. That's what grout is. It's ground up brick, and with the right colour, stone coloured grout, it makes it extremely real. So you have a choice of full block or broken stone like that. So that is my version of a stone wall. I'm sure you can think of variations on that, but that's it for now. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and leave any comments that you might think might be helpful. And thanks for watching once more, and see you again soon.